There was only one talking point at the front of the Formula One field at the United States Grand Prix, and it wasn't Ferrari's dominant 1-2 result. Not one, but two flashpoints between F1 championship rivals Max Verstappen and Lando Norris impacted Sunday's race in Austin, with Norris being punished for a late race move on Verstappen for third place that took place while both were off track. Is McLaren correct that the steward's involvement was unnecessary? Or was a penalty unavoidable and the team should have known better? What about Red Bull driver Max Verstappen's start line lunge? And what about McLaren's decision-making after the late takeover? On the first lap, Leclerc took the lead as McLaren title challenger Norris was driven wide into turn 1 by Drivers' Championship leader Max Verstappen. Norris said that Verstappen had also raced wide off of turn 1 and that the Red Bull should have returned the position. However, late on in the race, Norris would get his justice as he overtook Verstappen for P3, only for the joy to be short-lived as Norris lost the podium to penalties. The championship rivals competed for the last podium slot. To provide an offset, McLaren planned to keep their drivers out longer than Ferrari and Verstappen. On lap 47, Norris came in on Verstappen with a new set of hard tyres, but was pushed around the outside of turn 12. Verstappen expertly guided the car into the last sector and hung on for a few more circuits. Norris attempted to use DRS again on the start-finish straight, but was unable to close the gap on lap 48. Even on lap 50, the Dutchman's lockup at turn 1 wasn't enough for Norris to finish third. On lap 51, the Briton came close to reclaiming the advantage, but Verstappen once again defended excellently, forcing Norris to follow him. The tyre offset was soon diminishing. On lap 52, Norris braked late and ran around the outside of Verstappen at turn 12, prompting the Dutchman to complain that the McLaren had passed him. The duel continued as Verstappen attempted a move around the outside of turn 1 on lap 53, as the collision at turn 12 was noted. That incident resulted in a 5-second penalty for Norris, as the officials determined he had gone off track and gained an advantage. The whole situation prompted major backlash from almost all teams after the race, but none were as mad as McLaren, and it even prompted an internal battle with Norris visibly angry at his team. According to McLaren team principal Andrea Stella, the blame is all on the Formula One stewards for interfering with a beautiful piece of motorsport. Yet it was the erroneous racing regulations that marred Max Verstappen and Lando Norris's great duel in the United States Grand Prix. My view is that the way the stewards interfered with a beautiful piece of motorsport was inappropriate because both cars went off track, Stella said. Both cars gained an advantage. It's a shame because it cost us a podium, cost us in a race where we stayed patient after we were pushed off at the first lap, first corner. We accepted it. Having said very clearly our position, this kind of decision by the stewards cannot be appealed. For us, the chapter is now closed. Stella stated that McLaren did not urge Norris to give back the position in order to avoid a penalty, since there was no doubt the move was correct. However, Norris later claimed he would have rather been swapped back to, at least, have the opportunity to overtake Verstappen again. When I saw there was an under-investigation, I was pretty sure that was because Max pushed Lando off the track, Stella added. In fact, we told Oscar immediately, make sure you close to 5 seconds of Max because there could be a position at stake. So, the interpretation of this situation between McLaren and the stewards is polar opposite. I'm surprised that the stewards didn't even feel the need to discuss with the drivers after the race. It's an uncertain situation. Get the opinion of the drivers. Get the time to assess the situation with the level of detail that are required when the situation is not so clear. So, where is the urgency to interfere with the result of the race with a championship course, just because you have to make the decision in 60 seconds? It's a question mark that I think the stewards should take constructively and positively. Is it really needed to take a decision so quickly, and in our opinion, so wrongly? Stella acknowledged the problems the stewards face, but urged them to respect their jobs by taking more time to make these judgments. Norris was not impressed either. He stated that he needed to thoroughly study the situation after the race, but that he didn't know what else I'm going to do. He, Verstappen, defends by going off the track, He overtakes by going off track, but I'm not going to complain about it, says Norris. Max drove well, he defended well, we had a good race together, but the rules are the rules. Red Bull team manager Christian Horner described the restrictions as hard racing, and Verstappen agreed, saying, "It's quite clear you can't overtake outside the white line." When asked by if he sympathised with McLaren's side of the debate, Verstappen answered, "No, I don't. I mean, they complain about a lot recently. It's very clear in the rules. Outside the white line you cannot pass. I have been done for it as well in the past. I think in 2017, or whenever it was, so I lost my podium like that. So I just remained calm, trying to do the best I could, after that, to bring the car to the end. It was not easy with the tyres and the situation that I was in, but overall, I still really enjoyed that battle that we had." Verstappen was referring to McLaren's disagreement with Red Bull's gadget for adjusting the height of its front bib, which had dominated the news narrative earlier in the weekend. A comparable incident occurred at the start, when pole sitter Norris protected the inside of the Turn 1 hairpin while leaving the door open for the Dutchman to get through. Ultimately, both drivers fell off, giving Ferrari's Charles Leclerc a perfect opportunity to sweep by on his route to winning the COTA race. "There was a gap on the inside, so I went for it," Verstappen said of his start. "That corner is very wide, so it gives you a lot of opportunity of going very wide or trying to go really tight. I chose that option, and I still came out second this time, and it was Charles in front. I think it worked out quite well for me, because Charles was faster anyway, so he just pulled away. Today wasn't the best race for us compared to yesterday, just struggling for balance, for grip. I couldn't really brake, rotate the car, so quite quickly I realised that I wasn't going to win the race, so I just tried to do my own race." Both Horner and Verstappen mentioned Verstappen's loss of a podium to Kimi Raikkonen at the 2017 US Grand Prix as a result of a penalty he received for passing Raikkonen off track on the inside of Turn 16. Horner also stated that if he were McLaren, he would have instructed Norris to give up the post. The problem with the Turn 12 move by Norris on Verstappen is that Norris wasn't far enough alongside the Red Bull by the time they reached the apex of the corner. The regulations now state that if you're passing on the outside, being less than level with the opposing car's front axle at the apex is insufficient to demand room. The further problem is that Verstappen is clearly aware of this and has most likely come off the brakes to ensure that the McLaren is not too far ahead at the key moment, so he practically pushed Norris to concede the corner. Norris did not, instead clinging to the outside and veering off the track. That was always going to result in a penalty. Yes, Verstappen also ran wide, but as the defensive car in that circumstance, he was essentially protected by the existing racing regulations. If he had overtaken Norris on the inside there, he would have been punished, and the scenario would have played out precisely the same. Norris should have conceded the position, but he shouldn't have been put in that position by Verstappen's actions at the top. This is what happens when racing becomes a matter of following rules. It is ridiculous. They overprotect drivers being overtaken on the outside and drivers being passed on the inside if they just hold on around the outside of the corner and run off track, except on lap 1. In the never-ending quest for feared consistency, F1 has tangled itself in knots that sorely need to be untied. What are your thoughts? Do you understand the rules being followed here? And if so, are they too skewed towards dive bombing and dangerous driving? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.